All right, the Beatles coming up here in just a bit.
Beatles.
First, though, last Saturday night, I've been saying that I was wanting to do it. You've been saying this, too.
Mm-hmm.
And by golly, I stopped down and did it. I went to Moody Coliseum for SMU Basketball.
See Cincinnati.
Yes, I was alerted by the Snake that they were playing Cincinnati, and Cincinnati came in ranked number 7 in the nation.
Riding a 14-game winning streak or something?
Yes.
15 game.
Yes. And SMU has already knocked off a couple of ranked teams this year, and things are, we've been hearing anyway, are on the upswing over there when it comes to basketball under the great Larry Brown. So this seemed like something to check out. So I called Rich Phillips and got him to hook me up with a media credential.
Because there ain't no tickets, Holmes.
There ain't no tickets.
That some gun is sold out, as is the next game and the next game after that. This is unbelievable what's going on.
Now, they have recently reworked Moody Coliseum. And
much to your chagrin.
Well, yeah, not so much now.
Okay, I that's what I want to hear about, because you hold a very special place in your heart for old Moody.
Yeah, and actually, I know I don't go to it much, and I don't talk about it much, and I really don't follow it much, but I have a very special place for SMU basketball, period, in my sports heart. Because when I was a kid, I liked basketball. I was one of the few kids around that did, and there was no basketball around except for them. So I would listen to the games on the radio. I tried to get my old man to take me to a game or two, but
no.
That's about what I got, except once when Texas A&M rolled through. He took me, and that was just awesome. That was just one of the most fun times I ever had. But I was a big SMU basketball nerd and basketball fan back then, in spite of the fact that I knew nobody else that was.
I bet it was a different style of basketball when you went to that SMU A&M game than what you saw Saturday.
You could say that, yeah.
Probably a lot of bounce passes and two-handed chest passes.
There was some of that, yes.
Tally-ho! Each pass.
Probably most of the game was played, what I like to say, below the rim.
If anybody could even touch the rim, that would be a pretty shocking upset, because there weren't many good bigs in that game. Although I do remember Texas A&M did have a 7-footer, but he could not play, not at all. He was terrible. But anyway, things are different up there now, and for all you may be hearing about what games are like up there and how much fun these games are, let me tell you this. I've not had much fun here in our Fairburg at a sports scene since, probably Miami, since the NBA Finals were here.
That's how fun this thing was the other night?
That's how fun this was.
Man, I am so glad to hear that. And Mitchell Gleber, our buddy Mitch Gleber, just sent me a note saying, hands down, this is the coolest SMU sporting event he's ever been to. You know, he played for him after the death penalty and all that. And,
yeah.
And I believe, I've heard this from several people too, that these games are just a blast.
Okay, well, why is it? Is it the attraction of the new arena? I know the fact that they're good. Is there a better presentation now? What's going on, Mike?
Well, the presentation,
the kids are showing up.
The presentation is certainly, without a doubt, updated.
Okay.
You know, I mean, they've got all the, new stuff in there, new video boards, and just all the accoutrements that go along with big-time college sports these days. And that, that makes for the kind of game presentation that we're all a little bit more accustomed to. But I think the main thing is the fact that the students have mobilized around this, man.
That's the cool part.
The kids are into it.
And that's
what it takes.
That makes, I don't care what event it is in college, that's what makes the college scene in college football and college basketball, for my money, infinitely better than what the pros have. It's the kids.
And it seems like for decades now that particular student body is so reluctant to support their athletics.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a decent football team now for since the June Jones era.
Yeah.
And they're a winning football team, and they still don't show up. But, man, this is different.
I guarantee you June's looking at this and going, man, what are we doing wrong?
You're not. They're legit. The SMU football team hasn't been legit. This is legit. They're ranked now for the first time since the 84-85 college basketball season. 30 years it's taken. And Larry Brown's done it in 2 years.
Yeah.
And they're a lock to go to the tournament. And we've never seen this before. I know when Carl Wright and what's the big old white guy's name that was here?
John
Concac, when they were here, that there was kind of a scene. But this is one thing that the Metroplex and TCU football kind of has it going. I mean, when that place is full, it is freaking rocking over there. And, they've been good now for a decade plus and, been to big bowls and had huge games where they've won and everything. That's close. But the people over here, there's so many people that live over here that never go to Fort Worth, that would never go to a TCU football game. But it's got that vibe. If you go there before the game starts, the parking lot scene is freaking amazing. And I'm comparing it to anywhere. I mean, is it SEC quality? No, but it's a different vibe. There's other things in life going on. But we just haven't had that over here in Dallas. And
there is no college scene in Dallas.
No.
None.
And I'm dying to go because I want to see that. Where the kids are going crazy and they're the ones that you're watching, and the chants and the heckling and all of it.
It was just unbelievable.
Loud?
Yes, it was loud. It was loud throughout, and the Leering Press is very well taken care of there. Like, I wound up with a seat like right on the baseline.
Really?
And right behind me was the student section. So I had a very close first-hand look at what they were up to all night long. And boy, they did not let up one bit. And then there is no question that they were into it.
And
they were getting it turned up. And just this atmosphere that you talk about, man, it was so incredibly there, it's not even funny.
I think you're leaving something else out that is probably attributing to the merriment of the atmosphere, and that would be they're selling booze there, right?
Yeah, you can drink beer there.
Yes, they are.
Beer.
It's tough for the kid. Probably half the kids are under 21, and I bet you the carding process is very stringent because I bet it took a lot to get this passed. Because remember, we're only a year removed from all these problems over there at SMU with drinking.
Yeah, and that's University Park that they're in.
And I cannot believe they got this passed with the issues that they've had with alcohol, that they passed this to have beer at these games. But whatever, that's there, and you're right. I mean, but the thing is, you look at these college basketball teams or towns like Lawrence and the Carolinas and anywhere that has big college basketball. They don't have beer. It's not about that. They're not drunk in there. They're just having a freaking ball, But
in those places, it's what they do. That's what they got.
Yes. But
here, you got all kinds of options.
Now, they got beer at AT&T Field, and that's a mausoleum for half the Cowboy games. So
right.
You can't attribute it 100% to beer. But youth and beer,
it's a good mix.
Probably helps the volume in that joint.
I'll tell you what else helps. And I watched the majority of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they are good.
This is a good time for everybody to go see them. Like right now, maybe their next game, the game after that, because we're kind of catching them in that sweet spot that is just so cool to watch. We saw this happen with the Rangers a few years ago, like when they first started to get good, but they were kind of at that point where they thought they were getting good, but they're not really sure. And that's kind of the same sense I got about SMU basketball.
Yeah.
They're starting to get good, and that was a huge win for them the other night, and their confidence is bound to be sky high right now.
I mean, they beat the snot out of that team.
Yeah, they did. And it was no fluke either.
No.
I mean, there was nothing fluky about it. In the first half, the SMU defense was just incredible. I mean, Their defensive movement, their rotations, they didn't make any mistakes with those.
No.
And they closed out on everything, and Cincinnati got almost no good looks. And Cincinnati had a couple good bigs, too. And SMU played most of the first half without theirs.
Yep.
He picked up a couple quick fouls, and they had to get him out of there, but things went so well with the guy who came in for him that they were able to keep him out for the rest of the first half.
I was shocked at how legit they looked. And again, I don't watch a lot of college basketball and, won't until the tournament. That may be the only game that I'll watch before the tournament. I may watch SMU again.
You should, man.
But they're just,
I guarantee you I will.
They're so good.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there staring at it going, my God, they are legit.
Yes. I mean, big time college basketball is here.
I know. It is so weird. So listen to how great this is, too. So this morning, students lined up again. They're camping out for tickets. You can't get a freaking ticket. You got to camp out. So you got a long line of kids that camped out in the freezing cold. It's raining. It's miserably cold this morning. And the kids are just waiting for the box office to open. And who shows up in line but Larry Brown with coffee and donuts for everyone?
Really?
Yes, Larry freaking Brown.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
I don't know how you can root against him. I mean, this is the coolest thing we've had. This is the closest thing we've had to big-time college sports in Dallas, probably since the Pony Express.
Yeah.
And, I know that it was a big deal and people rallied around him then, but this is different. This has got a really different vibe, a very organic feel.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody that watched them, SMU at that time, knew that something fishy was going on. At least I did as a 16-year-old going, dude, what? How are they getting these guys? Well, why is SMU suddenly good at football? This has a little bit more pure feel, and I may be completely speaking out of my ass here. It may be the dirtiest thing in town.
You might be, but hey, let's not pick on every little thing.
Right,
here.
right. And Moody is small, It's smaller than it used to be.
Yes, it's like 7,000 seats or so now.
Yeah.
So don't be thinking you're going to be able to walk up and buy a ticket, because chances are you can't. But there were, let me tell just a couple very telling things here. First of all, nobody left early.
Yeah.
And when the game was over, the students stormed the court. And the next thing, I was sitting there watching all this, and the next thing I knew, there were guys jumping up on the table and just shoving me out of the way and running out onto the court.
That's
and
awesome.
there was just a mob scene out there.
It's so great.
And then I hung around for Larry Brown's postgame because I wanted to see that. There was a big media contingency there that night.
And how many typically are there? In the past few years? The Matt Doherty years, 2?
Yeah, nothing like this, that's for sure. So Larry Brown comes in and he starts answering questions. And keep in mind, this is Larry Brown. This is Larry freaking Brown. He is 73 years old. He won an ABA championship as a player. He's won an NBA finals as a coach. He's won an NCAA championship. He has done everything in the game of basketball there is to do, and he has done a million post-game press scenes. And after it was over, after all the questions were asked, he stood up and took a couple of steps away, then turned to everybody and said, I can't believe this, man. This is incredible that all you guys came out. I hope you come back.
Very cool.
I mean, that is Larry effing Brown.
Yeah.
He was your age, Corby, the last time they were ranked.
Who was?
Larry Brown. He's 73 now. He
That's
was
right.
43 then.
Yes.
Gotta go.
Very, very cool. Very big thumbs up to SMU basketball. That is a very wise investment of your sports dollar, boys and girls.
We have just done a full segment on SMU basketball.
And I'm damn glad to say we did.
I know.
In the 5 o'clock hour.
It's incredible. Yes. Dude, it's amazing. It's worth it. I want to get him on. I want LB.
Let's get him.